Hi, welcome to Readings and Commentary with Insane Sam. These are readings from history, philosophy, poetry, literature, just anything I like that I think you might like that I can share with you. This week is the opening week of the 2025 baseball season, so all the readings this week are baseball related. And this is something that a lot of you guys have probably never heard before, and it's hilarious. It's the actual testimony of Casey Stengel before Congress about the antitrust laws that are applicable to baseball. This happened in July 1958 when he and Micky Mantle were called together to testify in Congress about that. This is just an excerpt. It goes on forever if you read the whole thing. So I'm going to give you some fun excerpts here. Senator Estes Kefauver was running these hearings. Kefauver asks, Mr. Stengel, will you give us briefly your background and your views about this legislation? Stengel says, well, I started in professional baseball in 1910. I've been in professional baseball, I would say, for 48 years. I've been employed by numerous ball clubs in the majors and in the minor leagues. I started in the minor leagues with Kansas City. I played as a Class D ball, which was at Shelbyville, Kentucky, and also in Class C ball and Class A ball. And I have advanced in baseball as a ball player. I had many years that I was not so successful as a ball player because it's a game of skill. And then I was no doubt discharged by baseball, in which I had to go back to the minor leagues as manager. And after being in the minor leagues as manager, I became a major league manager in several cities and was discharged. We call it discharged because there's no question I had to leave. In the last 10 years, naturally, with the New York Yankees have had tremendous success. And while I'm not a ball player who does the work, I have no doubt about that work for a ball club that has a very capable front office. I've been up and down the ladder. I know there are some things in baseball 35, 50 years ago that are better now than they were in those days. In those days, my goodness, you could not transfer a ball club in the minor leagues, Class C, Class D, Class A ball. How could you transfer a ball club when you did not have a highway? How could you transfer a ball club when the railroads then would take you to a town, you got off, and then you had to wait up and sit up for 5 hours to go on to another ball club? How could you run baseball then without night ball? You had to have night ball to improve the proceeds, to pay larger salaries. And I went to work. The first year I received $135 a month. I thought that was amazing. I had to put away enough money to go to dental college. I found out I was no better in dentistry, so I stayed in baseball. Any other questions you'd like to ask me? Kefauver says, Mr. Stengel, are you prepared to answer particularly why baseball wants this bill passed? Stengel says, well, I'd have to say at the present time, I think that baseball has advanced in this respect for the player help. That's an amazing statement for me to make, because you can retire with an annuity at 50, and what organization in America allows you to retire at 50 and receive money? Kefauver says, Mr. Stengel, I'm not sure I made my question clear. Stengel says, yes, sir, and while that's all right, I'm not sure I'm going to answer your questions perfectly either. Kefauver says, I was asking you, sir, why is it that baseball wants this bill passed? I would say I would not know, but I would say the reason why they would want it passed is to keep baseball going as the highest paid ball sport that has gone into baseball. And from the baseball angle, I'm not going to speak for any other sport. I'm not here to argue about other sports. I'm here in the baseball business. Senator Joe O'Maloney then asks, did I understand you to say that in your own personal activity as a manager, you always give a player who is to be traded advance notice? Stengel says, I warn him that. I hold a meeting. We have an instructional school. Regardless of my English, we have got an instructional school. O'Mahony says, your English is perfect, and I can understand what you say, and I think I can understand what you mean. Stengel says, yes, sir, you have some pretty wonderful points. Maloney says, Mr. Chairman, I think the witness is the best entertainment we've had around here in a long time. Then Senator Carroll says, the question Senator Kefauver's asked you is what, in your opinion, with your 48 years of experience, is the need for this legislation in view of the fact that baseball has not been subject to antitrust laws? Stengel says, no. Senator Carroll then says, it's not now subject to the antitrust laws. What do you think is the need for this legislation? I had a conference with one of the attorneys representing not only baseball, but all the sports. And I listened to your explanation. It seemed to me it had some clarity. Kefauver says, thank you very much, Mr. Stengel. We appreciate your testimony. Mr. Micky Mantle, will you come around? Mr. Mantle, do you have any observations with reference to the applicability of the antitrust laws to baseball? Micky Mantle says, well, my views are about the same as Casey's. I mean, how wonderful is that? Casey Stengel sounds like Groucho Marx in this thing, and Micky Mantle winds up sounding like, Chico. But in any event, you can go and find this by Googling it. Just Google Casey Stengel's congressional testimony. It goes on for page after page after page of nonsense like this. And it's just an absolute wonderful read, especially when you get to the part where Mickey says, I just agree with everything Casey had to say. Well, that's it for this reading, and that's it for the baseball readings on baseball's opening week in 2025. These readings come out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on my YouTube channel, the Route 66 Party Guide. I have over 100 videos about Route 66 on there. I also have all these readings. So do me a favor, push the subscribe button to subscribe, then get all your friends to subscribe. With that, Insane Sam out.